All right. I think we are live. I was just running. Let me check my other computer to see what you all may be seeing. Yep. We are live. Okay. So, um so I just wanted to go live. May not be on here super long, but just wanted to go live and talk a little bit about my experience in South Africa. Um, it was such an amazing experience. I just, it was awesome. And so I'm actually still processing everything that I experienced. And so I'm going to share just a little bit with some of you today, or with you all, whoever's watching today. I'll probably unpack it a little bit more as time goes on. I am horrible with like posting pictures and all that stuff. I'm a little bit grandma when it comes to like posting things on social media. I need to get better. I'm doing the best that I can. So I'm gonna take my glasses off so there won't be a little glare, but you might see me leaning in like this. So basically what I'm going to do is just tell you a little bit about the trip that I went on, the amazing people that I went on the trip with. And one reason why I'm doing this is because on Mondays I usually do a mental health Monday. And my schedule is packed tomorrow. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a mental health Sunday. And the mental health part of it is when we think about self-care. So I'm big on self-care. And I try to make sure that I'm intentional to take time out for myself, whether it's kayaking or going to the movies by myself. When I don't have to share my popcorn with anybody, and I can I like to take my fuzzy socks and a blanket and get the little reclining chair. So this was really a self-care trip. And but also, though, there were some other things that I did not anticipate experiencing, such as like a little bit of anxiety leading up to the trip, because this was my first time traveling with a lot of people that I didn't know very well or even know at all. And so, something I was really thinking about, and I wasn't like super anxious about it, but it was something that was in the back of my mind, just wondering how the trip was going to go. So, and it all turned out to be, again, the most amazing, best trip that I've ever had in terms of vacation. This was a solely vacation trip, and it was amazing. So I'm going to share a few videos and pictures today and just talk a little bit about, what we did and what I experienced. I did some things I've never done before. Some things that I would tell myself, like, oh, I'm not doing that. Oh, no. Like, for example, skydiving. I didn't skydive. Okay. But if someone were to ask me, hey, you want to go skydiving? Yeah, that's a no for me. But I did something kind of similar. And so we'll talk about that too, So this is just kind of give you a little bit, again, about the trip, and share with you a few videos and pictures. And then I'll try to, I may just upload the albums and post those later, so you all can kind of look through those a little bit more at your leisure. So the trip, we went to South Africa, Cape Town specifically. And then we spent about 3 days there. And then we went to Zimbabwe, and we were there for 3 days. And one of those days, and then I think one of those days included a trip to Botswana, an all-day trip there. So we'll talk about some of that. So let me pull up. I'm going to pull up here in my notes about some of the things that I want to share. So one thing I do want to share with you all, especially if you are local, the group that I went with is Abundant Life Travel Club. They recently rebranded their group, the group rather, and they have a new name. And so I will find that so I can make sure you all know that too. So if you're local and you're into local adventures. So we do like hikes and camping. Camping is usually the bomb. That happens once a year in the fall. Camping, call it glamping, but it's great. It's like um, catered. All the food is catered. So I know it's not quite like hardcore camping, but if you've never camped before, it's a great intro to camping. And then they usually have MTSU's rec center come out and they kind of manage some of the activities like kayaking and it's not wall climbing, but it's like this. It kind of reminds me of a high ropes course, but it's not a high ropes course. So if you're interested, then you can also come out and join some of the things we do. So like yesterday they did a hike at Fall Creeks Falls State Park. I wasn't able to attend, but so again, it's Abundant Life, but the new name is Nashville Black Wellness Collective. And so they have other trips that are coming up and all that jazz. So I think what I'm going to do though is probably try to hit the highlights for you of what we did. And then, yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to like put them in the chat. I think I'm about to sneeze. Give me 1 second. Okay, it's not coming yet. So feel free to put questions in the chat. If there's something specific you want to know, feel free to ask me. And if you're watching this on a replay, feel free to still ask questions and I can reply to those as I can. So so the first day that we arrived, it was, well, let me say this. It was actually about a 15-hour flight. And I love international flying because, you get like meals and sometimes I'll take snacks with me, but I've found that I really don't need the snacks because we got 3 meals and I think we got snacks. Or maybe one of those meals was a snack. It was like a lighter meal. And so oftentimes I don't really need anything extra beyond what they provide. So so the flight is about 15 hours. And I think what I'll do first is I'm going to start off with sharing my screen so you can see some of the pictures of us going there and then arriving. Some pictures, while you see them, I will maybe talk about what those things are. So since I've never done this before, please be patient with me. Please be patient with me. God is not through with me yet. That's an old school song, old school gospel song. So yeah, just be patient with me because I've never done this screen share. I've never done this through StreamYard, and it'll be a first time for all of us, or at least for me. Maybe not for you. You may have experienced this before. So I'm going to screen share. So give me 1 second. Okay. So this is my photo album. And let me wait and see. I want to see what it looks like on your end. So give me 1 second. Ooh, la la, there it is. Awesome. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just kind of, you can see where we started off. So we flew from Nashville to New Jersey, and then from there to Cape Town. And I'm going to just click through some of these pictures. Again, if you have some questions, some specific questions, feel free to ask those as we go. This is one of my new friends that I met. Her name is Delisa. She is amazing, very sweet spirit, very sweet person. We actually in the airport. Okay, so let me say this. In the New Jersey airport, it's the bomb. If you ever fly international, like I almost want to stop or intentionally choose my layover in New Jersey because their airport is such the bomb. We flew United, and they actually have a like a lounge for anybody. You don't have to have any special like diamond or anything like that to go and utilize this lounge. You just have to pay the money for it. And I want to say it was like maybe $59, but we had such a long layover in New Jersey that it was worth having the luxury of sitting on couches, and it was buffet food, like all you can eat. And they had like, it was just awesome. So if you are ever flying international and you choose to have a long layover and you have the option of going through New Jersey, go through New Jersey. So these are some of these pictures you all saw when I did actually post this. So this is a picture of Table Mountain. a video of Table Mountain. And I'll talk a little bit more about Table Mountain. It's actually one of the new seven wonders of the world. And it's very popular, obviously, there in Cape Town, South Africa. And we actually took a cable car up Table Mountain. And let me see, let me find in my notes the how high it is above sea level. Give me 1 second. Let me find that. Table Mountain. Okay, hold on. Okay. So, yes, so Table Mountain, it is the highest point of Table Mountain is 3,563 feet above sea level. And so it rises above Cape Town. And it's saying that, you know, it's one of South Africa's most iconic landmarks. And things that are important about Table Mountain and why it's so popular is that not only is it one of the new seven wonders of the world, but it also has a lot of biodiversity, and it has it has 8,200 plant species there on Table Mountain alone. And so it says also that it contains more species of plants than what exists in the entire British Isles. So Table Mountain is a very popular tourist spot when you go to Cape Town, South Africa, and you can't miss it. Like once you get there on the ground, you look up, you see Table Mountain. And so that's something that's pretty cool that we got to experience there. And then give me 1 second. Let me get back navigating all these different windows here. Let me find where my photo album went. There we go. All right. Let's see here. So yeah, these are just different views of Table Mountain from the airplane. And so this is when we got to the airport in South Africa. And again, I think that's one of the pictures that I posted online. So we had the most amazing tour guide. His name is Dion, and he is South African. He is, from the area, and he was the most amazing tour guide. He was, he didn't talk about this much because it is a hard topic to discuss, but he did mention that he is a ex-political prisoner, back when all those things were happening before all of that ended in 1994. And so he had such a rich depth of knowledge about the history, the culture from a first person perspective. And so I highly suggest if you all ever go to South Africa, try to figure out how you can get Dion to be your tour guide because he is amazing. And so he gave us a lot of great history. I'm going to mute the video, but I'm going to play it because I want to try to see if I can clear up the blurriness. There we go. So this is Dion, and it gives you a little bit better view of him. Let's see here. Actually, let me try something here real quick and see what this. No, I don't want to do that. Give me 1 second. I want to see if I can make it bigger so that it looks bigger on your screen. Give me 1 second because I'm not sure how to do that. What if I do this? I'm waiting to see what it looks like once
there is a slider up at the top. If you unclick, go back to what you just had.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I feel like that might work. It took out the white part of my screen that was showing initially. So yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking about in terms of us. Oh wait. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. I'm waiting for the live feed to catch up with. There we go. Okay. So this is Dion. And just a quick thing about him, and then I'll jump back into some more things about my experience. But Dion and his wife, they have a really amazing, I'll call it a ministry because it is like a ministry, but they have an orphanage for babies and infants. That's the same thing, but you know what I mean. And so to date, at the time when we met him, they had already rescued and helped 158 babies. And so these are infants who oftentimes are abandoned at the hospital or on the streets and are oftentimes addicted to drugs due to their mom doing drugs while they were in utero. And even while we were there, his wife was at the hospital where receiving a baby who had just been abandoned. And he said that oftentimes mothers will go to the hospital and give birth, and they would go out for a smoke break, or they would go out to the restroom and they never come back. And so they take these babies, they love on them and they care for them for 6 months. So they have time to try to get all that drugs and all those things out of their system to get them ready for adoption. And they have been able to successfully help 158 babies to date at the time that we met him. And so that's just a really, really, really awesome like ministry that they have. And it just was so amazing. They have volunteers that help, and it was just wonderful to hear the heart of the people there as we got to experience Cape Town, South Africa, and the culture there. So that's Dion. He was hilarious. And we loved him. He was like the best tour guide. So I probably will wait to share some of the audio of those videos because I may just like upload those to Facebook so you all can hear about some of the things he said, but I also want to make sure that I listen to them again myself. This is the group this is the entire group on the trip. So this was an amazing group of people. Bless the hearts. We had 2 men on the trip and the rest of us were lovely ladies. But this is our group, and behind us is part of Table Mountain. And so these are like my new friends, you know? So again, this is one of my anxieties that I had, or my thoughts that I had about going on this trip, is that like, you know, normally when I travel, I at least know one person. And while I knew the leaders of the group, Kim and Claude, I didn't know them very super duper well. I mean, I know them enough because I've been on lots of other things with them, but like, I didn't know anybody else in the group. So you just never know what that's going to be like traveling with people you don't know. And so it actually turned out to be a really amazing trip. I feel like I have a lot of, you know, I feel like all of these people I could say I made a connection with, and I feel like they're friends. I feel like I could call them up and say like, hey, what you doing? You know? It wasn't just people from Nashville. We had people that came also, I think, from like Atlanta and Tampa, and a few other places that I can't remember. But this group was amazing. Sorry, interpreter. I know I'm probably talking super duper fast, so please forgive me. Let's see here. What time is it? Okay, it's 6:20. So I posted this picture asking if anyone knew. Give me a second. Let me find it. Yes. It was something like this. And my question was, do you know why Robben Island is significant to South Africa? And the significance of Robben Island is that it is one of the places, I think it's one of the places where Nelson Mandela was held. Let me put that picture back up. Let me see if I can. Give me 1 second. Let me minimize this again. Okay. Give me 1 second because I want to read it accurately. Okay, yes. So Robben Island, it's significant to South Africa because it is one of the places where Nelson Mandela, he spent 18 years of his 27-year incarceration in prison on Robben Island. And so I'm going to play you a few videos and show you the pictures of there because our tour guides, they were also ex-political prisoners. And I'll show you the actual jail cell that Nelson Mandela was in. But I thought this was cool that they did not, there was no label that said, hey, this is Nelson Mandela's prison cell. Because they feel that while, of course, he was maybe the face of, the political turmoil that was happening and fighting for the rights of the people, there were a lot of other people who were doing the same types of things. And so they think it's important that we recognize, or that they recognize, everyone who contributed to that process and to that fight. So let's take a look at some of the pictures of being at Robben Island. So I'm going to just hush up a little bit, and I'm just going to show you pictures. You guys can just take a look, and then again, if you have any specific questions, then feel free to put those in the chat or to ask me more about those. So let me see if I can. Give me 1 second. Okay, I think I'm gonna do it this way for now. And then that way you can see all the pictures as they go through. Okay, here we go. So we had to take a boat over from Cape Town to Robben Island. I'm going to skip through these. This is actually just video of, I think they were seals or sea lions that were just playing around in the waters there. And on the boat ride, you can see Table Mountain in the background. And this is when we got to Robben Island. And I have a video. Oh, wait, that was a video. Give me 1 second. I thought that was a video. I'm going to play this video. This gentleman here, he was one of the ex-political prisoners that was actually imprisoned here on Robben Island. And so when you think about it, 1994 really was not that long ago. And so it was insightful and humbling to hear the experience from them directly.
Because we fought a system that had no mercy. And we fought a system that killed many young people and children in this country, detained, incarcerated, and so forth. But the story of leprosy, even doctors at the time tried to contain and localize leprosy. And so they made the recommendation that these people must be moved and confined as an isolation to the island. And what you learn from there, generation and generation and layers of history, you realize Robben Island was always a place of isolation and banishment and pain.
So he said that Robben Island was always a place of isolation, banishment, and pain. And that before it was used for prison or holding prisoners, people who had leprosy, the government or whoever was ruling at the time decided to have all those people move to Robben Island and to contain them from the rest of the population. And so Robben Island was always a place of pain and a place of isolation.
Political prisoner actually was a man called, in the history, South African history books, Henry, the Strandloper. But the man was Ocho Macho, a Khoisan chief, a very prominent man, translating between the Dutch, the English, and the Khoisan people. And he fell out of favor at some point, and that's why they decided to confine. He is the first and the only one to escape successfully from Robben Island. Wow. Folks, note, when you remove a chief from its people, you leave those people fatherless. Please take this note seriously. Today in the US, there's a problem of drugs and substance. Why? Because young men don't have a role model at home. Here in South Africa today, a lot of drugs, you understand, gangsters in my country, generations of fatherless people. Directionless, you understand, because our culture and traditions have always been important. And the Khoisans for many years have never had a voice.
So I'm going to just flip through some of these pictures. Again, even just now listening to him share, it just brings me back to a place of humility to just listen, because the fact that you can go back to the place of your pain, the fact that you can go back to the place of your torture and hold both spaces. And when we think about mental health, life is hard. And a lot of times we have to be able to be in a place where we hold the dichotomy of humanness, which is pain and joy, if you will. And so even looking at this current picture right now, like this is from Robben Island. So you have this island of isolation, and then you look out and you see this beautiful ocean, the beautiful mountains, and it's like you want to maybe be thankful and praise God for the beauty of life that exists out in the world, but you're also in this place of isolation and imprisonment. And so it was just really moving to see their humility, their triumph, their victory, even in the midst of their suffering. And I'm still processing for myself, you know, the life-changing experience that I had, but I do believe it was a life-changing experience and something I will never forget. So as a side note, these shoes I have on are super comfortable. So if you're ever traveling and you want some shoes that are really comfortable, these shoes are comfortable. There's no promo happening here. But what's funny is, this is a totally side note, I saw these shoes recently. I bought these shoes before I saw this on Facebook, that these shoes are for like advertised on Facebook for elderly people. So no shame in my game. These were comfortable shoes and I could wear them and walk around all day with no problem. So don't hate. They were comfortable. So again, I haven't edited this album, so you will see some repeat photos happening here. But this is just a view of Table Mountain from Robben Island. It's just beautiful. You can see the beauty of God's nature happening here, and it was amazing. Now, this video it's short. It's a shorter video. And if I'm not mistaken, this is one of the videos where he's singing one of those songs that he would sing or that they would sing while they were imprisoned. And I'll play it for you.
That you are listening. That was a song we would sing sometimes in prison, which was a general song during the struggle day.
He said that was a song we would sing sometimes in prison, which was a general song that they would all sing. And so it's just, so this area right here, let me zoom in, I might actually have a better picture of it. It's difficult to see. So this is a little bit better picture that you can see this right here, this pile of rocks. And this was an area where the prisoners would have to come out here and work and do things. And he said this area is essentially where Nelson Mandela and others would gather, and he would kind of like preach or teach those people maybe who were just coming onto the island as prisoners, and just have an opportunity for like the people who had already been there before to kind of share and teach with the other political prisoners who were just arriving. And so they would all put rocks here as a identifier of them passing through, if you will, Robben Island and being there. And so I just think it's really cool that that this pile of rocks has been left from all those people who had come and been a part of this this fight for freedom. And so I think that's really cool that that it's still there, you know. So let's see here. I'm trying to find my, okay. So now we're going to move on to hearing from the person who took us around and took us actually through the prison. And we got to see some of the, we got to see where people were held and their living conditions. So that's what we're doing now, is we're actually entering in one of the units of the prison in Robben Island. And so this video is kind of fast because I was trying to be discreet, you know, but we are actually going to one of the cells where our tour guide actually spent some of his time there in Robben Island. So some of these rooms are just big rooms with a lot of, well, not a lot of beds, but benches and things where people can sit, but there's not much there. So this is the room where this gentleman was actually held and was a prisoner in this room. And I can't remember how many people he said would be held in this room, but I would say it is at least a minimum of like 50 people would be in this particular cell. Give me 1 second. Okay. So, let me see. I was thinking this might be a video. That one's not a video. So this is when he was just telling us about his time here at the prison, and people were asking additional questions. But you can see these cards here. So I'm gonna move this over here. This picture right here, it shows you the food portions and the rations depending on your level of where you were in terms of the in prison. So some people, depending on your, I don't want to say rank, but what level you were, what level prisoner you were, determined how much food you received, of whether it was mealie meal, breakfast and supper, whether you receive like 5 ounces per person, or on the other side, you may receive 6 ounces of meat per person. And they had prisoners of all kinds. It was not just Africans. Let's see. Let me see if I can go back to the next picture. You can't see it very well, but if you look on the right side of this picture here, this one is a video. Okay, perfect. I'll show that in a second. But this picture right here on the right corner, you see where it says Hindu. So this was, I believe, an Indian descendant who was actually in prison. So it wasn't just Africans, it was other people as well. I'm going to play this video real quick. We're not going to be on here long. We'll probably be on here until about 7. So I'm still on day 1. So, and we did a lot every day. So we're not even getting to, I may have to do one of these lives for like every day. I won't do them every day this week, but like I may have to do, so today maybe it's just like talking about day 1. And then maybe the next time that I do it, I'll talk about day 2. So let me see here. How do I go back? Give me 1 second. There we go. Okay.
Supper, no bread, Pozamanda. Pozamanda is a powder milk. All right? Fat 1 ounce, this side half. Meal rice or meal is in Costa in gold. Meat 6 ounce, this side 5. Jam or syrup, 1 ounce, no jam, no syrup.
So no jam, no syrup. So again, depending on your level that you were in terms of, as a prisoner, determine what you would get in terms of meals. So this is Laurie, and she was on our trip, really sweet lady. And so she's just showing you how, she was stretching her arms. I was like, wow, this jail cell really isn't that big. And so that's what she's doing there. She's showing you.
And if I was a grown man, my grown tall man, 6'3", my arms would actually hit the walls.
And this was the guy that was actually in that cell from that time frame.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to go back to his picture. So this man Moses was imprisoned here from 1963 to 1975, and this was his jail cell. And then this right here talks more about him specifically, and
crazy.
How he came to be in prison here on Robben Island. And that's just a little cabinet where they would keep some of their items. This person who was in this particular jail cell was a trumpet player, and he had actually his instrument taken away from him. So you can see this guy, he was there for 5 years. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is the one who was the Hindu from the card that was shown earlier with the fingerprints on it. So I'm just going to go through some of these pictures. Okay, so here's a funny story. Funny, maybe not funny, but this particular guy, he actually was able to get the master key and make a copy of the master key. And so this is a picture of showing of him, how he made the master key. And so, I think that's pretty cool that, he was able to figure that out. So I'm going to try to skip through. This is just a view of the entire prison on Robben Island. Again, we're just looking at different parts of Robben Island. If I'm not mistaken, I think this fourth window was the window of where Nelson Mandela was kept.
Number 7, the cell of the late Dr. Nelson Mandela, where he spent 18 years sleeping on the floor, on the 2 mats and 4 blankets, the dish, the cup, the baguette, it was the toilet at night, the book.
So you're just seeing us go through, and he tell us about, Nelson Mandela was in this unit, as well as I think 18 other people on this particular hallway. And so, but we're actually going to look inside Nelson Mandela's prison cell, and it shows what he had access to while he was there, which wasn't much. Although from my view, when I looked in, it looked like he had a little bit more than anybody else had, again, which wasn't much. Let me find that video. So this was Nelson Mandela's cell. Imagine being there for 18 years. Now, it's possible that he may have been moved to another spot throughout that 18 years, because if you got in trouble or anything like that, then you could get demoted to a different place and then brought back to a higher area. If your behavior improved, or if the reason for which you were demoted, you served that time back from your demotion. So this is Robben Island. I'm going to go ahead and I think try to move ahead a little bit from there. And this is how people make their living as well. And so we made sure that with each place that we went to, leave these people a tip, and to thank them for sharing with us their history and their lives, and so we're going to move on to, this is still day 2. We did so much in a day. And so on one hand, you're like, oh, I'm tired, but it was so invigorating just learning about everything that we experienced. I really, and then we could sleep on the bus when we were in transitions from different places, but I don't think I would change anything of how the trip was planned, even though we did a lot in one day. It was really amazing. So this is when we actually went up to to Table Mountain. And this right here says Table Mountain, the official new 7 wonder of nature. And so on this map here, it shows the other 6 wonders. Sorry, that's too much. Okay, so we have Table Mountain here, but then it also shows in South Korea, one of the new 7 wonders of nature in the Philippines, Indonesia, Vietnam, and then in Argentina/Brazil. So we are going to take a cable car ride up to the top of Table Mountain. So let's get on this cable car together.
Safety, I need you guys to step away from the sides. Please let go of the handrails. The floor you are standing on is about to open up, so just checking if we're sleeping. We're all alright. That's good. That's good. Just getting ladies and gentlemen on the floor.
I'm gonna pause it. So, like the guide who's getting us up the mountain, he's saying something in the microphone. I don't even know if I understood what he was saying while I was there. We had to listen like real hard because I could hardly understand their English. So the interpreter probably can't understand. So don't even worry about interpreting. But he's just like saying something. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but you can actually hike up this Table Mountain and hike back down. We did not do that. But some people, there were like, I don't know if you can see, but there's like little specks you can see of people who did that.
So kindly step away from the sides, let go of the handles, and to enjoy. Here we go.
Oh, it's moving. So that was one cool thing about the cable car is that the bottom of it rotated, and it rotated in 365 degrees. And so he was saying, like, don't hold on because it's going to rotate as it continues to go up the mountain.
Good right
see
here,
if you
though.
can see the little specks of people that's coming down up the mountain.
Also, just make sure everybody gets good.
Look at those people hiking down.
Aren't you glad that is that what you wanted to do? Oh,
so here are the people right here. Look at them hiking down the mountain.
Did you get in?
Wow, look at that way.
Here's the spot. My bag. Can you get in here? You said it's moving. I didn't even get it. It's turning. Never in life. Never in
I know.
I understand that.
Whoa. Okay, let me pause it real quick here because I want you to remember this view because I'm going to wrap up with something really exciting that I did. I alluded to it because I showed part of the video, but I want you to see how high this is and just kind of keep that in your brain for what I'm going to show you before we wrap up here in a few minutes. Wow. And there's somebody climbing right there in between. You see that person? She taking a break. She by herself too, Jesus. Oh. 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 Oh my goodness. I'm giving paragliding a second thought.
I know because I just gonna put that down there.
No.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Table Mountain is a national park. Therefore, we ask you to respect the environment, but not to get any.
So you can see how high up we are. Again, it's over like 3,000 and some odd feet up in the air, up, above sea level rather. And so the next set of pictures is just views from the top of Table Mountain. And it's, really expansive. So obviously we didn't get to walk all of it. And again, if you want to, you can choose to hike down or up the mountain. So we're just going to look at some of the pictures from Table Mountain. This is actually a wild banana tree, I believe is what we told it was. And so I took a picture of it because I thought it looked pretty interesting. Wait, this one may not be the wild banana tree. One of them is an aloe tree. And they said it's a little different than the aloe tree like you have at home. And of course, no trip is a trip without a partial finger picture, right? Or a finger in the video. So
there are days that you actually can't see. You can't see me from where you are. 2 weeks ago, that's what we had, and there was that fogged up.
Really?
Yeah. So often the mountain is fogged up.
What is it again? It's what?
F-O-G-G.
I know what you're saying. That's what you.
So because of the accent, he was saying that 2 weeks ago, there are days where it's so fogged up that you can't see. But when he said fogged up, people in our group was like, "What'd you say?" And he was like, fogged up, F-O-G-G. So sometimes we had to ask for clarification on what was being said because it sounded like something different. But look at the beauty of God's nature and just, it's amazing. You guys, I have not even this is just day 2 and there's more that happened in day 2. Day 1 was when we arrived and we had dinner that night. And so I showed I posted pictures from the hotel. Someone was asking what hotel we stayed in. I will look that up. I have it in my notes here. But let me kind of skip through some of these pictures. Again, I'll post these so you can look at them a little bit more closely if you'd like to later. So I'm just going to kind of skip through them. Some people were a little nervous. I was sitting there like, "You're not going to fall off, are you?" No, I was careful. I didn't fall off, obviously. This was my roommate. She was an amazing roommate. We really had a good time hanging out and everything. So this is my roommate and Delisa. So Victoria and Delisa. We all went out to dinner one night and had a really good time as well. Look at that sun. I love it. I had the time of my life, and I never felt the way before. It was amazing. Okay. So this is from the road. Now we're looking at a portion of Table Mountain. I think this is when, so myself and 2 other young ladies, shout out to Outdoorsy Diva. I think it's her name online. She has she's a travel extraordinaire and she's amazing. And so you guys, have you ever done something new? Like this trip and this experience for me was new. And I guess I got caught up in the newness of it. And I was doing things that I would never think I would do before. Like I'm an adventurous person and I love doing new things. And I actually like challenging myself and doing things that are scary because it kind of helps you to stretch your window of tolerance of being able to do hard and difficult things. So I didn't know what all I was getting myself into when I agreed to go paragliding. And I went paragliding with Delisa and with the Outdoorsy Diva. And so Lauren, that's her name, Lauren Outdoorsy Diva, though, is her social media, where you can find her on social media. So I think this was a video of us on our way up to the mountain up there that we're going to do paragliding from. So here's Delisa.
So please make it on time. Yes. We're trying.
And we're trying to get there because
They're waiting.
Because if it's too cloudy, then you can't fly. And if the wind isn't right, then you can't, do paragliding. So we are on the way up to this mountain to go paragliding. And so this is a picture of, I don't know if it was Delisa or Lauren coming down from paragliding. This is back up at Table Mountain. So some of these pictures are mixed in. But here's the Outdoorsy Diva, Lauren. And so I'm going to end today. I'm going to go through these pictures. I'm going to end today with the paragliding. So this is Dion, our tour guide. He's the most amazing tour guide. So you want this face on your tour if you go to South Africa. So again, I'm skipping through some of these. This is us with part of Table Mountain in the background as we were just touring throughout Cape Town. This is us. We did a boat tour, so we also got to see some of the nature and the sights from a boat. It was really cold, but it was still really beautiful. So I think that's all in that. So now let's go to paragliding. That is what's going to wrap up day 2. And this is what's going to wrap up tonight's talk about South Africa. So I'm going to first play for you the video of after we got to the top of the mountain. Everything happened so fast. Like before I could even think twice about it, next thing you know, I'm like running off the top of this mountain. So like it just all happened so fast. It had you sign your life away and all these different things. So I'm just going to play the video because it's absolutely hilarious, because this was me having second thoughts, but I couldn't do anything about it. And I've noticed that with myself, I get myself into things. And I feel like this is very indicative of my relationship with God. Is like, God's like, let's do this. I'm like, yeah. And then I like do it. And I'm like, wait, abort mission. And it's too late. So I'm going to just play this video and I hope you get a good chuckle out of it because it's quite comical.
Hold on to that for me.
Hold on to this.
I'm busy filming us, okay?
It is filming us right now.
Yes, it is.
We doing that.
Yes.
Where we gonna end up at?
Green grass field.
Shut your mouth. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Don't hold me. Don't hold anything.
Don't hold you?
Yes, don't hold anything. Don't hold me.
You don't want to go?
Okay, give a step or two forward for me.
Okay.
Just keep running, okay?
Okay, well, but
Good.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. That's loose. Okay.
This sounded good at the dinner table.
It's gonna be good afterwards too. Yeah, you ready for this?
No.
Okay.
But I ain't got no choice. Oh, wait. We're going now?
We're gonna go now.
And I'm just holding this?
Yes.
I don't hold anything else?
Yes, okay. Okay, don't overthink it.
What do I do with this hand? Nothing?
Just
Nothing.
keep running.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I can't change my mind.
Yeah, I remember it.
Don't hold
Are
me.
you sure this is okay?
Yes.
Don't
hold
overthink
me.
it. It's gonna be a gentle walk,
Don't
little
hold
run,
me.
and we'll be flying before you know
Okay, wait,
it.
but when are you turning around?
Before you know it, I'll be turning around. Don't worry.
Let's
I just
go.
start backwards for fun.
Okay, I don't like that.
Yeah, but don't jump, don't see.
Okay, I'm scared now.
No, don't worry.
No, don't overthink. Don't overthink.
Okay,
Don't
there's a
overthink
nice
it.
little breeze. Are you ready for this?
I'm not.
Okay, one.
Wait a minute, wait.
Walk for it.
Jesus, I don't hold on to anything.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Go.
I can't. Jesus Christ.
I mean, how on?
Okay.
See that?
This is insane.
It's not that bad.
It is insane.
It's when you overthink it and take
I
when things
know.
go wrong.
I know you're right. So the video just froze up, and that's okay. I'll post it. But I know I'm an overthinker sometimes. And he was saying, when you overthink things, sometimes that's when things get messed up, when you overthink. And so I went paragliding, guys. Like I ran off the top of a mountain. Like this is crazy. Who does this? I'm going to mute it and then try to see if it'll continue playing so you can kind of see what it looked like. But as you can see, we are at the top of a mountain and we're going all the way down. We're going to fly over the city. And it's just like, I feel like it's essentially like skydiving outside of like jumping out of the plane part. So obviously not quite as high as being all the way up in a plane, but still very high. So if we think again about Table Mountain being like 3,000 some odd feet above sea level, that's essentially, I'm about that high. I'm not sure exactly how many feet, but look, you can see the city below and how tiny it looks in this right here, which gives you an idea of how high up we were. I cannot believe I did this. It was so surreal because he said at one point, he was like, this is just like sitting on the couch, isn't it? And it kind of was. It felt very comfortable. Let me see what the audio is saying. It's a lot of wind. Okay, it's a lot of wind, but you can see how high up we are. I'm going all the way down to where the ocean is. It's the Atlantic Ocean. We're going to land down there. I don't know that I have a video of that, but again, I'll just try to post that online. This is another video of us being above the city. I'm not going to play it because we're going to be out of time here in a few minutes. But this is another 3-minute video of us getting close to the landing. Let me see if I can see where this takes us. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about playing. I'll just post this one. But this is Delisa. When she was out there doing paragliding, as you can see, she's still above the city. She's getting close, about to land. And this is her over the water, about to land. Let's see here. I'm not sure what that is. Hold on, got a random picture in here. Okay, wait. Oh, this is what I'm going back to. So these are just the pictures of me paragliding. So he had a selfie stick that was taking videos and pictures while we were up there. And you can see, I mean, look at the background of this picture. You can see how high up we are. Yo, this is crazy. Like on the ground, I just didn't think through what this really meant, but I would actually do this again. It felt so surreal and I enjoyed it, but like, I would love to do it again to really enjoy it even more. But like, look at this picture. Look how high up we are. Absolutely crazy. Insane. Look. I still am in disbelief that I even did this. Look at this, guys. And this is actually one of the first time I'm really seeing some of these pictures and like, it's crazy. Y'all, it's so crazy because that's how I am sometimes with God. I don't know if you like could hear all the questioning and questions I had in the beginning. And it's like, sometimes God's like, do this. And I'm like, but wait a minute. Well, can you give me more details? And what about this? And what about that? And sometimes God just wants us to follow and say, yes, Lord, you know? And so when you do say, yes, Lord, yes, the ride can be crazy. It can be scary. You can even be stupid. Like you think you stupid. Like I still think back and I'm like, I was stupid to do this, but I would do it again. And it's kind of like that crazy faith, so to speak. And so that's kind of what this reminds me of, is like doing something in crazy faith. Because I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. And by the time I realized how stupid it was too late. We was running off the side of the mountain. So I'll post these as well at 7 o'clock. And I really appreciate the interpreter being willing to interpret. Oh my gosh, look at that. Like even now I'm like, I can't believe I did that, you know? This is insane. So anyway, I'm so glad that I could just share a little bit of South Africa. So I already see right now that it is going to be impossible for me to get through more than one day. So, excuse me, I will probably again do day 3. It's separate live stream, day 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's see here. I do want to show this quick video of, I think this is Delisa coming in for her landing. So you can see how high up she is, and that's how high up we were. And look, the parachute, it says, this is living. And this is living. I mean, again, I didn't anticipate doing this, but I'm so glad I did. And again, shout outs to Outdoorsy Diva, because she's the one that's like, more adventurous than I am. Like she's like on a whole nother level of adventurous. And I just jumped on the bandwagon, even though I didn't know what I was getting myself into. But I'm so glad I got myself into it. So thank you guys for listening. Again, this is us. And let me show you this last picture. Sorry, interpreter. I'm showing this last picture. This is the three of us. We are the ones that did the paragliding. Angela, Lauren, and Delisa. And so we had an amazing time. And then we walked back to the hotel. And the hotel was the Radisson Blue. And let's see here. I think I'm going to stop sharing. How do I stop sharing? Did I stop it already? I did. Okay. Thank you, interpreter. So the hotel that we stayed in, this is specifically for Jasmine. I know you were asking me about the hotel. We stayed in the Radisson Blue Waterfront Hotel. So we had a waterfront hotel, and it was great. I see, how long did it take you to get down? My Aunt Vaughn is asking how long did it take for us to get down? The paragliding experience was only about I would say 7 to 10 minutes. It felt like it went really fast, but it didn't take that long. But it was so amazing. And I really did feel like, I was kind of like, it's funny because I was a little closer to God, if you know what I mean. I was way up there in the air. But, I was just thinking to myself, like, once you're doing it, it's like, there's no need to be scared anymore because you're like up here and you're doing it. So it's like, if you're going to die, well, at least die enjoying the beauty. I didn't die, obviously. But it just stood out to me when my pilot was saying, don't overthink things. And so that can be hard for me to do sometimes, not to overthink things. But it was a really amazing experience. And I'm glad that even though I was scared, I was overthinking it, I was still willing to do things scared. And so I think that's something I want to leave with you all, is that you're going to have fear in life. There are going to be things that are going to be scary. There are going to be things that's going to be hard, but that doesn't mean that you abort mission. Even if you want to, like to the very last second, I was trying to change my mind, but I couldn't at that point. And so be willing to do hard things, be willing to do scary things, and trust in the process and trust the experience. So I'm going to sign off for tonight. Thank you guys for watching. Feel free to watch the replay if you weren't able to get on at 6. And I guess I'll be doing this again for the next, I don't know, maybe 8 weeks or so, just having a night where I talk about South Africa and all of my experiences, because I have so much more to share. So God bless you all. You all have a great night, and I will see you all soon. Bye.